Okay, hi again everyone. We are still on problem 2, but we're going to do part 2. So we're going to do the raw materials budget for D-rings. So let's read this really quick. It says, prepare a raw materials budget for D-rings. Each collar requires 2 D-rings. Lauren purchases a special D-ring from one supplier who sometimes has production issues. Consequently, Lauren likes to have 100%, so that's a big number of inventory she likes to have on hand. So 100% of her D-ring needs on hand at the end of each month. She has the correct supply of D-rings on hand at the beginning of April. Note, required production for July is 54,000 dog collars. Okay, so this is just kind of pulling information from the previous problem. So we're doing this in from our previous problem up here. So it's basically telling us right here, just for reference, that this should be 54,000. So if we need to pull that information, this is because too, in this month, so we actually aren't doing anything for July really, except we do need some information to pull for the other months. So this again is kind of what I'd like to call a ghost month. So our required production is actually those numbers that we found up here. Do we see these numbers right here in the previous problem? So we're just going to pull those down to here. And let's say you accidentally messed one up, like you put 64,900, and I don't know how you'd have gotten that, but say you messed it up. If you carry those numbers through, it's fine. You'll only get deducted once for that. So don't worry, even if you're not confident, we'll make sure to solve it with your numbers. Okay, so I just pulled those numbers down for our required production because that's what I want to produce within those months. Okay, and then within the facts, find my problem here, it told me that each collar requires 2 D-rings. So what does that mean? I need to multiply all of these by 2 because that's how many of the D-rings that I need per collar. So we can multiply all those together. So it looks like I got 130, 146. This is 136, and then 108. Great. So then it says that we want required ending inventory of 100% from the previous or from the following month. It says that right here. Lauren likes to have 100% of her D-ring needs on hand at the end of each month. So we would take our arrows again, this would help us, and we would just want to multiply those numbers. So I like to put the little 100% here, just so I know. So that's really easy, easy multiplication, can't talk. So I'm just going to carry those numbers down. Great. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to add these two numbers together. Remember, we at the top we kind of wanted to make sure that we're like, we can even put add here, just so we know, we kind of want to understand the story. So this right now, I'm just going to add these numbers together. So 176,000, and then this would be 282. Oh, this would not be 176,000, would it? That should be 276,000. So our solution might be off a little. Yeah, let's double check that. Yeah, so that should be 276,000. And then this one right here is 244,000. Okay, and the way I found that error is I'm actually checking the solutions as I go, and I looked and it said 176, and then my next month was 282, and those numbers are super similar, and it just didn't look right. So I just made sure, I was like, oh, that number doesn't look too right. I want to double check my math, and I found the error. So just make sure that you're doing that. Okay, so this right here is we want to find out our beginning inventory. And so this is kind of a funky one because we knew that we were going to be collecting, well, we would take this down this way again. So it's going to be the same number, which is going to be kind of interesting. So this would be 146. And then this is kind of where we have to make up a little ghost month. So if we were going to calculate the previous month, so what's the month before April? It's March. So that would be the required ending inventory for March, which would then be the beginning inventory for April. So we kind of talked you through some of this talked some of you through this in lab. But just basically, if you're not finding anything and nothing was given to you in the problem, it's probably there. So we probably have to create our own little ghost month. So I would have, if I had known this before I did this, sorry about that, I would have probably put March here and just been like, oh, well, I need 100% in March for my ending inventory, and that will give me the beginning inventory for the following month. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so this number is actually going to be really easy to determine because we know that it's just going to be this number because it was just these two numbers to get added together to get this, so we're just kind of backing it out. So this would be 136, and this would be 108. Oops, I didn't write that right. Okay, perfect. So this is what a raw materials budget looks like. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, you can erase the arrows, whatever you need to do. Just remember, when we do this, we want to make sure that in terms of like production, we want to catch if we need any additional of these, some sort of product. So this wouldn't be our start number always if it was a raw materials budget. So just make sure that you're looking out for that. Other examples in our book was sometimes they would say things like you needed a certain weight of something or a certain amount of grams, so you'd need 8 grams per product, so that would then change there to 8 or something like that. So just make sure in your problem that you're highlighting what you need. So I highlighted the 2 D-rings. Just make sure you're doing that because that will really help in your raw materials budget.